Welcome everybody to joining us today. Our topic of today is about the mind, the function of the mind. But before listen to the wisdom talk, we practice meditation together. About 25 minutes. Okay, I think we ready to practice meditation together, right? Okay. For those who sit on the floor, you can put your right leg on top of your left leg and put your right hand on top of your left hand. Let your right index finger touch your left thumb. If you sit on the chair, you can have your feet down to the floor. But your right hand should on top of your left hand, and your right index finger touch your left thumb also. Now, the problem of practice meditation is we have to balance the mindfulness and the sleepiness, because the way that we are going to sleep and the way we start practicing meditation is the same way. We relax our body, release, and let go everything, and stop thinking. That's the same way that we prepare ourselves to go to sleep. So along the way, we should balance our mindfulness and the sleepiness. Okay. First of all, we start relaxing all parts of the body. We don't let any part of the body tense, because if we have tension somewhere, our mind will pay attention to that spot. And we should free our mind by let go everything, stop thinking, relax, and be comfortable. So let's start relaxing from your forehead, your cheeks, and relaxing the muscle in your neck and the muscle across your shoulder. Relax the muscle in your back. Relax the muscle in your arms, your hands, down to your fingertips. Relax the muscle in your back, your belly, your hips, your thighs, your legs, down to the tips of your toes. Relax all part of your body. If you have tension somewhere, our mind will pay attention to that. So we should free our mind. Be like you sit in the bus and the bus running along the road. And you look out the window, see mountains, see rice field, see birds. Just see and let go, see and let go, see and let go. Don't pay any attention to that. Don't analyze that. Don't follow your thoughts. Pretending that you sit alone on top of the hill with the morning breeze. Covered with the beautiful sky, like a clear crystal ball sky covered you, and you are alone. Nobody's around you. Take a couple of deep breaths. And follow your breath. When you breathe in, follow your breath. Breathe in and go along with happiness, joy, pleasure. When you breathe out concerns, worries, stress, and anxieties. So when we breathe in, breathe out, we are purify our mind. Pretending that your body expand, enlarge, bigger and bigger. And big enough to have the whole sky getting smaller and smaller. And eventually floating the whole sky like a clear crystal ball, floating at the center of your body. The weather is very good. And you feel with happiness and serenity. Relax, released, and make it simple. Make it easy. Don't force it. Don't push it. Just release, relax, and stop thinking. Whatever thoughts popping up, don't follow your thoughts. Let it go. Don't pay any attention to that. Don't follow it. So we take it easy and stop thinking. We sit, relax, and say nothing. But our mind sometimes still want to say something. Let him say, Samma Arahang, Samma Arahang, Samma Arahang, Samma Arahang. Let the sound of mantra, Samma Arahang, come from the center of your body. Be conscious, be mindful, but relax, release. Only two things that we are doing now. Focus on the clear crystal ball or the whole sky floating at the center of your body. But take it easy. Be mindful, but relax. Don't follow your thoughts. And keep reciting mantra. Samma Arahang, Samma Arahang, Samma Arahang, when our mind getting still, let us think about all good things and merits that we have cultivated and accumulated for many lifetimes. Put it together and let it bright and shine and create loving kindness, compassion, and sympathetic joy. And we share that loving kindness and merits to all your friends, to all your family members, to all your customers, your colleagues, your student, and share that all being, all kind of being, animals, human being, and all kind of beings. Wish them happy. Particularly the one you hate. Share that loving kindness and merits to them in order to forgive each other easily. Sappa Puttha Nupavena, Sappa Dhamma Nupavena, Sappa Sankha Nupavena, Sattha Soti Bhavantu Te. Now we have come to the end of meditation session. So we can slowly open our eyes. Okay, how was it, everybody? Good. I hope you are happy with the meditation practice. And after we practice meditation, we are ready to listen to the wisdom talk today. Okay. The topic today is we have been possessed by thought system since birth. I will talk about the function of the mind. My name is Ven.Chayanon Kijjananto. Let's talk about the functions of the mind. Number one, our minds, the first function is to sense or to perceive things that we see through our eyes, we hear through our ears, we smell from our nose, taste from our tongue, and feeling of touching. This information through our body will send to the mind. The mind will perceive that and construct the images from what we see, construct the sound or the voice from what we hear, and smell from our nose, the taste from our tongue, and the feeling of touching. The mind is the one who perceives the complete image, complete sound, complete taste will be constructed at the level of the mind, not at the level of our body. The second function is to memorize and retrieve. After receiving from the body, from the brain, after receive it, they memorize that. And whenever we need to recall the memory, the mind can retrieve from the memory. This another function of the mind. So the difference between the brain and the mind. The brain will be recorded only when we are awake and only on this lifetime. But the memory in the mind memorize everything, every time, every minute, every incident. So that's why when we fall asleep and have a dream, the dream will be recorded in the mind, not in the brain. That's why we don't we can't remember what we dream. Somebody say, oh, I remember the whole dream. But it's only the moment that you're falling asleep and the moment that you're waking up. But when you reach the deep sleep, there is no recording in the brain. If you say, I remember the whole dream, not the whole dream, but you fall asleep and wake up many times at night and put those little moment together. It seemed like the whole dream, not the whole dream. The whole dream will record it at the mind's memory. The third function is to think. When receive all information from the brain, the mind will think it over and over, and make decision. The mind will make decision and tell the brain to react, because the brain controls every part of our body. But the mind is the one who makes decision and send to the brain to react. If someone comes to us, slap in your face, you see he walking in, you hear the sound of being slapped, and you feel hurt. Those information, the brain will gather those information and send to the mind. The mind think over, maybe recall some information that can be recognized that guy. Then the mind make decision, tell the brain, maybe, hey, hit it back. Or the mind may tell the brain that, okay, we forgive, let him go. That's the third function of the mind. The fourth function of the mind, if something, it's kind of supreme knowledge or some intuition, and very profound one is to attain the enlightenment. That's the fourth function of the mind. But to enter to the fourth function of the mind, we must stop those three functions first. This is very important. To enter to the fourth function of the mind, we have to stop those three functions first. Stop sensing, perceiving, stop memorizing, retrieving, stop. Very important to stop thinking. See, stop sensing, stop memorizing, and stop thinking. When your mind is still enough, you can enter to the fourth function of the mind. Somebody have some intuition, or you can reach the supreme knowledge, which is stored in a certain level, or a certain frequency, or a certain dimension. And eventually, if we patient enough to practice meditation, we can attain the enlightenment. But we must stop those three functions first. Unfortunately, most of our educational system teach only three functions of the mind. Our educational system, both the West and the East, teaching those three functions: sensing, perceiving, memorizing, retrieving, and thinking. There are hardly the teaching of how to access to the fourth function of the mind. So for this reason, we revolve around thinking and solving problems, because we use only three functions of the mind. Either receiving, hear something, and recording, and think over and over and over. Try to solve the problem. This is because we have been trained since we were born in this three limitation. We have been trained since we were born in this three function. Because we only know the three function and been trained of solving the problem round and round and round and round since we were born. And today we're still running around with solving problem. Keep thinking. Many people get insomnia because of cannot stop thinking. So what do we do with the unsolved problem or not enough supporting facts? For example, if we consider something to solve problems, we need 10 facts, but we only have 6 facts. What should we do with 4 facts? We don't know. What should we do that? It's easy. Set up theory. Because we don't know all facts. So we set up theory to explain something and try to support that theory, those 6 facts we have. And the rest 4, we don't know. So some theory have been using for an era. But when we discover more supporting facts, we know that 6 facts. Now, if we know another 2 facts, what should we do? we know more facts. What should we do? Changing the theory. That's why once in a while we have to change the theory until we know all facts. So that's the truth. Somebody say, one of the best way to solve a problem is to stop solving it. One of the best way to solve a problem is to stop solving it. Somebody may experience that after solving the problem without solution, stop solving it, relax, take a good night's sleep. When you wake up, you find the answer. Because when you're running around that problem and you have no time to think of the other way around. To stop solving it, stop what? Stop what? Stop our minds from following the defilements. See? Because of ignorance, cause us not to know the facts. And when we don't know all facts, we set up theory. So if we stop our minds from following the defilement, then we step out and see the problem. Maybe when our mind getting still, we get some intuition and have the solution to solve the problem. So let's change our behavior. First of all, to give without expecting anything in return. To fight with our selfishness, our stinginess. And this is the way to cultivate merits, to give with no expecting anything in return. If we give something away and expect something in return, what do we call that? Investment. When you invest in something, you expect the return. No matter how high the return is, you don't satisfy. You get 5% return. You need 10%, 20% in return. There is no happiness. So investment is not the kind to cultivate merit. So give without expecting anything in return. Another thing is to forgive. To forgive, to forget. If you can forgive, you can forget. If you cannot forgive, you keep remembering that. Somebody hurt you, maybe verbally or physically. You keep remembering, keep in your memory. And when you have spare time, you recall that and hurt yourself. Stop hurting yourself by forgive, and you forget, like you have bad memory recorded in your computer. If you delete those files, so you cannot recall it, it won't hurt you. To observe precept, five precepts: not to kill, not to steal, not to do the adultery, not to tell a lie, and not to consume a high degree of alcohol or drugs. To observe precept, it's something like you giving away. If you don't kill, you give the life. If you don't steal, you give the security of their property. If you don't do the adultery, you give security to the family member, other family member. Not to lie, not to tell lie. Give trust to others. But if we refrain from alcohol or drugs, because alcohol and drugs, when you get high, you will be easily to do those four precepts. And then meditate to purify the mind. Meditate to purify the mind. This the way to cultivate merit. And merit will generate happiness and success. The happiness will generate loving kindness and compassion and sympathetic joy. How to get away from being possessed by thought system. First of all, stop. Stop perceiving, sensing. Stop memorizing and retrieving. Stop thinking. Those three functions of the mind, we stop that to start the new way of cultivating merits. Particularly, stop thinking. It's very important to still your mind, to regain the power of your mind. You got to stop thinking before go to practice meditation. So be comfortable and relaxed. Make it simple. Be comfortable and relaxed. Simply still your mind. to still your mind is the way to stop the defilement intrusion. The defilement try to inject the thought, especially the evil thought, to your mind. So if we still our mind and to still your mind is to stop the defilement. So practicing meditation is simply still your mind, but not to tighten. We have to keep balance of mindfulness and sleepiness, because when we reach, when we comfortable and relaxed, when we reach a certain point of stillness, we automatically fall asleep, because we have been trained since we were born that when we stop thinking and we relax and come to a certain level, certain point, then we fall asleep. But to practice meditation, we keep ourselves conscious or keep ourselves mindful. But if we focus too much on mindfulness, our mind will get stressed. So try to balance between mindfulness and sleepiness. This is to regain the power of your mind. This is the way we gain the power of our mind. Or we can call it the art of doing nothing. All arts, we need skill and we need patience in practice. So, like a painting, sculpturing, playing music, they all need skill. So the art of doing nothing seems very easy to do, but not quite easy. It also needs the skill and need patience of practicing it. And this is the way to we regain the power of your mind. The way to regain the power of mind, because our original mind is very powerful, very efficient. So we practice meditation and still our mind to regain the power of our mind. The art of doing nothing. Okay, that's it for today. Thank you for listening our wisdom talk. And Next, if we have question, ask him question to ask.
Thank you, Venerable. I welcome any member of the audience who has a question to type your question in the chat box. It was an interesting topic, and you've covered a lot. Thank you, Venerable. Very interesting topic.
Any question?
I think we've got one question coming up. I can't see any question just yet. I've got one question of my own while we wait.
Okay, go ahead.
I learned that you summarized the mind has 4 functions, and 3 of them are mundane or ordinary functions. What about feelings? If we feel happy or sad or angry, is that a product of the brain or mind in some way?
No, that's the injection of the defilement. Defilement. We have 3 kind of defilement, right? Greed, lust, hatred, anger, revenge, and the delusion. The delusion is the state of not using knowledge. So that anger, you mean?
Yes, for example.
Or for example.
Or maybe positive feelings too.
Yes. When you have thought, you know, we practice those 3 functions of the mind, and we keep thinking. And the defilement knows that our weak point is thinking. So they inject some thought, particularly the evil thought, not the wholesome thought, wholesome deed thought, but the evil thought, and make you mad, make you annoyed, angry. You feel this is mine, this is our property. I don't share anything to others. Even the abstract, like marriage or loving kindness, is abstract. Because of our stinginess, we don't share that to others, which is, you know, marriage and loving kindness can be shared to all people around you, to all beings, animals, all humanity. But because of defilement, say, hey, don't give that away. Especially when you get angry with somebody. If we forgive, then forget. But we keep that like like a valuable thing that you can keep keep that. And when you have time, you recall that and hurt yourself. Many people enjoy hurting ourselves by recalling bad experience or something like that, to keep hurting. The one who hurt you have a good night's sleep, but you keep thinking about that. and hurt yourself, eventually you get insomnia. Okay.
Okay. Yep. We have more questions on the way.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Here's a question. Let's see. Question. How to deal with our thoughts if one day we think a lot and we got a headache?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm.
Like we can't stop thinking.
How can we cope with that? Thinking?
Yeah, thinking too much until we get a headache.
The cause of headache is thinking too much. Whenever you stop thinking, then you have nothing to hurt yourself, nothing to think. If you forgive, then you have nothing to recall and think about that and hurt yourself. You know, many people enjoy hurting themselves by keeping those bad experience. And
I have another question if you would like to answer, Mungti.
Okay, go ahead.
Here's a question about meditation.
Mm-hmm.
When I start meditation,
Mm-hmm.
the thought is still in my head. What do I do if I don't want it in my head?
That's quite normal for everybody. When you sit down and a lot of thought coming up, those thoughts come from the defilement, greed, lust, hatred, anger, revenge, and jealousy, prejudice, and ignorance come up to your thought. If we try to eliminate those, when before sit down and practice meditation, if we forgive everything, don't worry about the past, and don't worry about the future, and we we sit alone on top of the hill with no one around you and nothing. You own nothing. You don't get angry with anything. When you sit down, your mind will clear, and not many defilements to recall and bothering you while you practice meditation. You know, the step. If you do that before sit down and practice meditation, then it helps.
Thank you very much, Venerable. We have a question.
Okay.
What should we do when we have depression?
When we have depression?
Yes, depression.
Yes. Same way, because depression comes from this is my benefit to do, but I don't want to lose my benefit. It's your stinginess, or you get angry with something, or you get jealous to someone, with your friend, your good friend, and he got promotion while you don't get it, and you get jealous with him, or the prejudice of love, prejudice of like, prejudice of dislike, prejudice of fear, and prejudice of being fooled. If you love something, I like this, I don't like that, and I have to do this because be afraid of blamed by people around you or your boss. And to the last one of prejudice is you believe in something without proving. When somebody says something to you and you keep in your mind, the second friend come to you and say the same thing. The third one come to you and say the same thing. And you believe that without proving. You know, it's kind of fake news, or in internet, like a fake news, but you don't prove that. You don't reconsider that. And you believe that. Not only that, you push button, share to your friend.
Okay, thanks for the answer, Ladongpi. I have questions from two people that are very similar, from Tanya Pramarket and Bisabrian. Basically, they ask, it's difficult to forget. So how can we forget better?
How to forget? This is the art of living. We may never know about it. But when we know that, yes, I know, I believe that, but I can't do that. That's a problem. When and many people, when get bad experience, and they keep that like a valuable thing, save it in your memory and never delete it. Keep it and recall that and hurt yourself. Recall that and hurt yourself. You know, those hatred, those anger, you created, but you think that other people make you think. In fact, you created it. They don't know. They don't know about what you're doing, but you create it and keep it as valuable thing, and recall it and hurt yourself. Many people enjoy hurting themselves. Think about that, and you may forgive easily.
To Venerable Cap. There's one more question that's similar to the one we just had. It's a bit more specific. It says, forgiving is one good thing to forget the past, but it's difficult to forgive. So could you please give me some advice to forgive someone who hurt or harmed me?
Think this way. The one who hurt you have a good night's sleep. They forgot about what they did to you. But you created that emotion, create emotion by yourself, and keep that and keep hurting yourself, particularly when you have to prepare to fall asleep. That's why somebody get insomnia, because you cannot forgive and keep hurting yourself. If you keep thinking, you cannot sleep, right? We gotta stop thinking to get to the night sleep. So if you cannot sleep, it's also hurt you, hurt your health. So like a file, a bad file in your computer, but you want to keep that, make decision to delete it, so you cannot recall it. When you forgive something to someone, don't just say that I forgive you, but deep in your mind, in your heart, say, okay, I wait for my turn. So forgive from your heart, forgive from your mind.
Thank you, Venerable. There's another question about meditation.
Mm-hmm.
It says, I always get a headache when doing meditation. Shall I continue or stop?
Open your eye, move a little bit to make your muscle relax, and importantly, stop thinking. If you can stop thinking, then you won't get the headache, get nothing to bother you. Forgive.
Okay, thank you, Venerable.